Faked you out on that, didn't I? You thought I was going to stop earlier, but I didn't. All right, everybody, welcome back. Left Coast Love 2020.
2021.
In 2021. I know, it seems like we're pushing out the episodes now. We just had one earlier last week, but we had taken a break.
Yeah.
Different breaks over the holidays, but we had an idea that just couldn't wait. So this week... You're dead to me. No, not you. We're gonna talk about things that are dead to us, and just to make sure it's not a totally dark episode, we'll also talk about those things that are gone, but remembered well.
Gone but not forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten. Stuff that's no longer with us, but that we love, and not people. We're not going people today.
Number one, Alexander Hamilton.
We never knew him, so how do we miss him?
I don't know. Probably some relative knew him at some point.
Lassie, do you know what week it is? Do you know what's coming up this week, honey?
Easter?
No, St. Patrick's Day, darling.
I don't think it's the holidays.
You didn't notice the pictures I chose for this week to try to mix it up a little bit?
I'm confused.
So, by my accent? Was that an Alexander Hamilton accent?
No.
I was trying to do Irish. It's not very good, but it's the best I have. So
I read something where a letter. It was Thomas Jefferson talking about Alexander, and it was saying how he hated his voice and how he thought he sounded like a tuba, just as a human.
I did not know that. I don't know that he would get to hear his own voice. See, we get to hear our voice because the voice you hear in your head is not like when we play back the podcast or watch the videos.
You don't get the same voice.
It's always weird because I'm like, is that really what I sound like? Like my nose is plugged up all the time, just constantly. Sorry. But it is it's St. Patrick's week, St. Patrick's Day. I'm Irish, which means Parker was at least half Irish, but...
I'm more Irish than you are.
I know, you're more Irish than I am because Parker's mother is more Irish than I am, so...
Therefore making me superior.
At least in that category. We'll see how your record holds up over time. So I thought it would be fun to go back through, since now, I take pictures of everything forever, since we've had camera phones. And I found some pictures of us on different, I got a picture of me in Ireland in an Irish rugby jersey, as well as me in Ireland at a bar, which, imagine that.
Wow.
Now, we do have the one picture from Finnegan's, so that's a Guinness. So you remember we went to Finnegan's that one time? Mm-hmm. So that's a picture of you floating over my Guinness. Probably not really appropriate, but anyways. And then we've got pictures of you and me, and then you and your mom at different St. Patrick's Day parades.
Mother Goose
back when we used to live in San Francisco. Even though you don't remember it, we do.
I remember nothing.
But look how happy you are in all these pictures. And then here you are just as a confused baby being held in the air. But still very cute. So for everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you get to enjoy that with the people in your bubble, or if you've had your shots. Mother Goose is the only one who's got her shot in this house at this point.
Besides, you haven't. You're the oldest.
I know, but I'm not old. I'm not so old that it puts me at the front of the line for the shots. So, I now, usually after we kind of roll around here in the beginning, we give our WandaVision update, but there's no more WandaVision to update.
Except for the Ulta thing, but...
Apparently, Ulta Cosmetics has a Wanda Maximoff...
makeup set. Or not set, but stuff.
Makeup stuff?
Yeah.
Makeup stuff. So they're branding, they're co-branding. Everything's going to be Marvel. Marvel and Disney, it's just going to become a country, I think.
they'll go out and like buy a small part of like Germany or something.
I don't think they even need the land because the internet is infinite, right? So as long as they have a place to keep all of their stuff to stream and to sell, right? They don't even need the stores as long as you have warehouses and stuff and a website.
Doesn't Neil go out and buy a part of Antarctica?
That's kind of out of the way, but we'll see. I think they're already doing credit cards, so.
Yeah, they've been doing credit cards. Like at the bottom of the Shop Disney thing, like they have like 90 billion credit cards you can choose from. One of them has Lightning McQueen on them.
Yeah, but those are partnerships with other credit card companies, not necessarily. Like Apple, you can get an Apple credit card where you pay Apple the money back. So that's kind of the first step in becoming a bank.
Huh?
Versus Apple. Yeah, you can get an Apple credit card. Yeah.
News to me.
True story. We don't have one. We don't like a lot of credit cards here.
Yeah.
But next up on Disney Plus in the Marvel side of the MCU, this week, right? This week we get
Yeah, the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I've been watching some of the trailers. Apparently the computer doesn't want to talk about it. Doesn't want us to talk about that. You got enough coffee going there?
I'm almost done.
I know. I still have mine.
Yeah, well, you get like the second largest size they have.
You can't get a bigger cappuccino than that. And an extra shot always. But we got the Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up. So I think originally Loki was supposed to come out first. I think way back before the COVID. And when they did the very first announcement of what was going to come out on Disney Plus, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Loki first, then WandaVision, and then the Falcon and I keep wanting to say the Falcon and the Snowman, but that's a movie too, but it's a totally different story. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so they're going to pick up from Captain America.
Winter Soldier. And
Winter Soldier, of course. Now that Steve Rogers is retired, I guess Falcon is going to, or is it, they kind of pick up the mantle?
Yeah.
Of what?
Like they kind of share custody of the shield. Like the Shield's their child and they're divorced and they have to share custody of it.
Well, the Shield's an orphan. Right? Well, no, Steve's not dead. He's just old.
Yeah. Looks like Joe Biden.
We're not getting political. We do not get political in this podcast.
I wasn't sure.
Well, I don't know. At first, I thought I wanted the Falcon and the Winter Soldier first because that felt like it was going to be more of a like typical Marvel movie with the special effects and all the action. But now that we've watched WandaVision all the way through, and most of that show was talking.
Yeah.
There was some action. I mean, they gave you enough action in between. But it wasn't until that last episode where then it kind of jumped over to be more like a Marvel movie, right? And, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I mean, for me, all the flying around and throwing lightning bolts at each other, whether the Vision was shooting it out of his forehead or Agnes was shooting it out of her hands, or like that ended up to be like the least interesting part of the show.
Yeah, I think it was just too long of like a segment of the show.
Well, the other thing too is we've seen all these Marvel movies that have these gigantic fight scenes. And we've seen them so many times now, it's almost like...
It's their thing.
Like, really? Again? All right. Charge! Let's go. Wakanda forever. Charge! Every time we turn around, there's like this massive fight scene. So, I'm hoping that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be more like spy, espionage... kind of like I don't want to say detective show, but more like that than straight up they're fighting some supervillain each week, right?
Yeah.
Where you know, he's flying around and Bucky's taking his arm off and beating some guy with it or whatever.
Wait, Bucky can do that? Did like I miss a part in a movie where like he rips off his arm and just beats the living life out of someone?
No, but they keep taking it on and off and upgrading it. And then you remember, was it in Civil War where they had it in the big vice?
Oh yeah.
And he's like stuck to the chair and they're like, can he move? And I'm like, no. And I was like, as big as that vice was, I had to think that Tony Stark's Iron Man suit has more power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has more power in it. But visually, that big, like, industrial, like, we're in some warehouse and, like, we're going to put his arm in, crank down on it.
So I saw some interview yesterday where it's Sebastian Stan. What's the other guy's name? I forgot. Whoever plays the Falcon. I forgot his name out of nowhere. But it's like an interview on like some red carpet, and some guy's interviewing Sebastian Stan. The guy who plays Falcon comes up and he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking the interview." And he says the infamous line, "I'm not a player. I just shower a lot." When Sebastian mentions his cologne.
I don't even know what that means.
I'll send you it.
Meaning he doesn't bathe very often, he just throws some cologne on and keeps rolling with it?
No, the Falcon just wears a lot of cologne and showers a lot.
He does look like he's like a very clean person.
Yeah.
Where Bucky always looks like 4 days since he's had a shower.
I mean, it's better than Tom Felton.
Don't you remember in the beginning, like his hair is he's always like greasy and his hair is all.
I mean, it's better than Tom Felton. He looks like he hasn't showered in years.
Well, that's what we're waiting for this weekend. There's something else starting on. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be interested in this, but over on HBO Max, they're doing the Snyder cut of Justice League.
What?
So the movie Justice League, and I know you fell asleep, took you like 3 times to get through it, but the movie Justice League.
Like the one where Superman goes crazy and beats up Batman?
No, that's Superman v. Batman.
Not that, like, it's a part in the Justice League.
Well, that was... Well, because when Superman comes back, he's all mad.
Yeah.
But by the time Justice League comes around... Wait, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I get them all confused because Justice League is where they bring Superman back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's upset. I was going to use another word, but you were going to say language.
Yeah.
But he was really upset. He threw Batman into that police car, like, it's just crazy. But, so...
I still can't believe they made an entire movie of just the two of them beating each other up for, like, 3 hours.
Martha? How do you know Martha? I have my own Martha. But, so that movie had a director that started the movie, and then he left, and the second director finished the movie. So the first director is a guy named Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, his daughter got very, very sick. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say she passed away if she didn't, but I'm pretty sure she did. Oh, we'll let the Robo-Killer get that.
Oh, it's the government!
It's Union Martin Vargas.
What?
I don't know who that is.
I know, it's my friend Pablo.
Well, for the older people listening, all one of you, that was the Jetsons doorbell, which was a cartoon from before your time that I watched, and that was they were supposed to be in the future where there was flying cars and all their houses were like up in the sky and.
Didn't that show come out like cave people were around?
Well, because we didn't have TV.
Oh.
It was a TV. It was a cartoon show. But anyways, that's the doorbell sound. The same way I have the Kim Possible sound.
I saw that.
For my text messages. All right. I think we've worn out. Oh, Zack Snyder. I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah. Zack Snyder. So Zack Snyder had to leave the movie to take care of his family, and they brought in Joss Whedon, who directed The Avengers. He's a Marvel director. Mm-hmm. And he finished the movie. But the movie he finished wasn't the movie that Zack Snyder started to make. So HBO Max went, because comic book geeks are crazy, and then, you know, like, whatever happened to that movie? Why can't we see that movie? So HBO Max asked Zack Snyder, well, since you shot most of the movie, if we give you some money, will you shoot the rest of the scenes and make the version of Justice League you were originally going to make?
Yeah.
So the first one was like 3 hours and something. This is going to be 4 hours and something, but they're breaking it up. They're breaking it up into chunks on HBO Max. But they had to bring back the people to shoot some different scenes.
And now they're like 90 years older.
No, I mean, because it wasn't that long ago Justice League came out.
Not like Riverdale, where like... Oh.
No, I think it was only like 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I always think it's shorter. I think it was like, oh, it feels like it was 2 years ago, and then I go look at when the movie came out, and it's like, oh no, that was like 5 years ago, because Aquaman came out after that, right?
Yeah.
And then the second Suicide, or no, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey. So there's been a couple of DC movies in there. But anyway, so that'll be going on. So HBO Max will have the Snyder Cut, and then we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So next episode we can talk about how that went. All right, so our main topic for tonight, and here is, and I did a little switch up. I thought maybe we'll start with the Gone but Not Forgotten first. So it's just not such a dark episode. So these are typically either places, stores or restaurants, things of that nature, that are no longer with us, and we miss them. So
may they rest in peace.
May they rest in peace. So for Parker, what do we got here?
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us. So when you were little, what did you used to call it?
Toys R US.
Because our GPS, when I would plug into the GPS, it would give us directions to Toys R US, and so you thought that was the name of the store. And we had a couple of them around us.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually became like a destination thing for us to do when you were a lot younger. Right? Remember? Well, you don't remember, but we have the photos to prove it. You know, we could go in the car and just spend an hour and a half going around and looking at all the different stuff at Toys R US. And back then, I think I was collecting some action figure stuff too. Yeah. So I could go and check on the new action figures. Obviously, stepped away from that. Now we go with like we got the full size Captain America Winter Soldier shield. You okay? You good there?
I realized I wasn't in the way of it.
Yeah, because look, that's you and me in front of
Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man.
So that was the Andrew Garfield movie,
yeah.
I think.
The one that people think was too hip.
Yeah, that Peter Parker he was just way too cool. Like, I didn't feel sorry for him. And even when he got in that fight with Flash and Flash beat him up, he still looked like he was okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Okay. But Toys R US, sad. There's only a couple left, right?
Yeah, and they're all in Canada.
In Canada.
One's in Texas, but nobody likes that one.
Why do you follow Toys R Us? Toys R US?
No, they keep on saying about it on TikTok. People keep going there and they hate it because it's not. It's more like an imagination place, kind of like a playroom instead of like Toys R Us.
Oh, gotcha. What are those, like a different kind of gymboree type of thing where, like, parents that are too lazy to get creative with their kids at home bring them there for $5.
Yeah. Here,
play with some interesting blocks. I don't know, but there was some places that were cool. You remember do you remember the place we went that had all the climbing and then the balloons and it was like tunnels?
Wasn't that in like a mall that was connected to a Target?
Yes.
I remember I went there for a birthday.
Absolutely. That was... Yeah, that place is long gone too, especially, once COVID had, you can't have... I was never a big fan of those places because I always wondered how clean they were. Because like every time we brought you back from Chuck E. Cheese, we would like sterilize you. Quick, start the shower.
Get the bleach.
I was like, after you got done crawling around some of those tubes and stuff, there was also the one at the pizza place down the street, Round Table.
Oh yeah.
And again, I was like, how often do you think somebody actually crawled in there and cleaned out those places? But Toys R Us was fun. I miss it. It was always, and especially right around, because it was around when you were younger, so Christmas time, you could go in and we could see which toys you were interested in and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Gone but not forgotten. This is still from your list.
California Pizza Kitchen.
Rest in peace, California Pizza Kitchen.
Their pizza was delicious.
They had that really thin, like, butter crust.
Yeah.
That I liked. And this, the lower left picture here, this was actually the California Pizza Kitchen we went to in the city.
Is that one closed?
Yeah, it's closed.
Or did the business close?
I'm pretty sure it did.
I thought it was just the one by where we lived.
Yeah, if that one was closer to, like, the picture up here.
Yeah.
And now, what do they turn? It's a Sephora now,
yeah.
Isn't it? But it's weird because the front still has the round, like this picture here. Like you could, like they took the California sign down, but it still has that kind of iconic round door when you go in. I always liked them in the city because even though it was a chain, it was never like super busy or packed with tourists. There was another chain restaurant that went away. I'll talk about here, but coming up. But again, it was in the city, and your mom and I used to go there a lot because it was right kitty corner from where our first apartment was, down by the baseball park.
What?
It was before you were born. I can show you the building the next time we drive to the city. All right, so California Pizza Kitchen, rest in peace. We miss you. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna start. Okay, we'll get into some. In San Francisco, there was actually a couple of them. They were called the Grove. The picture I have here is the one in Hayes Valley, which is near the comic book store that we go to. It was also one of the areas that was within walking distance from our second apartment in the city. The one where you grew up before we came out here. And so there was a lot of times we'd, I'd put you in the stroller, or when you got a little bit older, we would even walk. You would walk, believe it or not, all the way from our apartment, all the way down to the comic book store. But a lot of times if we were doing the walk, we would stop at the Grove. We would let mommy sleep in, and you and I would go down here, and we would get, they had toast with jelly. And I think it was more about the bread than the jelly, because the jelly was just purple sugar that they would put on the toast. But it was like thin sourdough toast.
Yeah.
So it was crispy around the edges, but kind of soft in the middle, even though it was toast. This was before the avocado toast craze of 2018.
Yeah, Starbucks was trying to sell that for like $10 for one
God.
slice.
When I was working in the city at Sephora...
You worked at Sephora?
Not Sephora. Anyways, I probably shouldn't give out names of the clients, but it was at the beauty place. The place that had the egg chairs with the chains. And that was all the rage in San Francisco was, I had avocado toast and coffee this morning. And restaurants in the city were selling, their avocado toast is like $13, $14. Like toast with smashed up avocado, $14. But at that time, that was kind of like one of the trendy.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm drinking a $8 coffee here, so
mine's pretty much worth a penny now.
I can't even talk
Starbucks,
about
probably
that.
like $30 maybe for this much.
But the Grove was nice because it was a combination of kind of fast food, but a restaurant. So they didn't have waiters that would come take your order. Remember, you go up in the front and they had all the big chalkboards.
Then you would order and sit down.
You order it, and then they give you the little table tent or the little number.
Yeah.
And your drinks, and then you could go sit down. And their seating areas, you remember they had like a fireplace and like old-timey chairs and couches, or you could sit along, they had booths along the edge.
Were they made out of like wood or something?
Yeah, and then they also had those tables and stools, but the stool was connected to the table and kind of swiveled out in the front, like along the side there. But anyways, the Grove, all of them closed. There was another one up on Haight Street where your mother and I used to go. If the weather was nice, like and it was a Saturday, we would just go up to Haight Street, again before COVID, because it had all of these quirky little shops and bookstores and Kid Robot store, skate shops, bookstores, the hippie tie-dye stuff. There was a big
now all I see is you trying to like do an ollie.
Oh, what?
Ollie.
Oh, an ollie on a skateboard. Well, I noticed Adonis has like 5 skateboards. So maybe he can loan me one and I'll practice, and we can put that on YouTube.
You're already turning into a grandpa.
I am a grandpa at heart. Now the other two places that are gone but not forgotten. One of them you went to a lot, and we bought you a lot of stuff there, which was was the Puma store in downtown San Francisco. And again, this like back then, retail, like it was actually fun to go shopping. People were nice in the stores, and there was like new stuff that would come in, and you know, just going to see, like, to look at the new stuff. Like now we just do it all online.
Yeah.
And the internet was around back then. You could go to puma.com and order stuff, but for us it was like, well, we could do that, or we could put Parker in the stroller and go get some sun and maybe get a coffee and take a walk and go to the Puma store and then have the stuff when we came home.
Yeah.
And I used to wear lots of Puma shoes all the time until I switched over to Vans. But
all I have is Vans.
And the Puma store was a couple of different levels, and each level had different stuff on it, but they also had comfy couches or chairs, and they even did events there. They had DJs that would come in and spin records. Is it right? They would spin records and play music. And speaking of music, the thing I miss the most about San Francisco is the Virgin Superstore or Mega Store. After that closed, they put a Forever 21 in there, but it's just not the same. And it was a huge... This was before iTunes, so there was only 2 ways to get music. Either you bought it in a store, or you downloaded it illegally. So there was no, like, go to iTunes and buy it, or go to Amazon or Spotify. There was no streaming services. So, you know, if you wanted new music, you went to the store. And the Virgin Superstore was, they had, back then CDs was like the most popular thing. But they had records too. But most of it was CDs. And they had all the CDs from every genre, versions. And at this time, they had sections like all the new music that was coming out, but they also had like old stuff that was on records was re-released on CD. So you could buy classic stuff that you had on record on CD. They had a bookstore. They sold comic books in there. Virgin even had their own line of comics for a while. They had a bakery and a coffee shop, and they encouraged you, like, they wanted you to come hang out there too, because they figured if you would come there to hang out, eventually you're going to start buying stuff, which was true. And they added clothes and, you know, videos, DVDs. They had a whole floor that was just DVDs and movies. And when we lived in the city, like if you were bored or something, you could just like go down there and like, or meet people. That was always a good place to meet people. Like I would meet Andy and Alexis like, oh, we'll meet at the Virgin Superstore or Megastore. They used to have them in New York too. There was a big one in Times Square. And of course, London had the biggest one. But
if only they were around now, Big Ed. That would be a big help to Big Ed. I'm watching the show like Taking Back Your Life, where it's the Big Ed trying to find love again, and he's having trouble meeting people and
like finding stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, like, what do you do? All right, we got a couple more here. So speaking of San Francisco, so this was the other restaurant I was talking about in the upper left here is the Chevy's. And the Chevy's here is closed too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually tore the whole building down here just to make sure. You will not have chips and salsa in this space ever again. What's the matter? Can't see?
Yes, they like that bunch of smudges.
Yeah. And, I get that Chevy's wasn't like like true Mexican food, but again, for like a good place to just like get a snack or have a light lunch or a central place to like meet people, the Chevy's in San Francisco was just like in a really great location because you could go from there across the street over to the Metreon, which we'll talk about next, but up to downtown or over to Folsom. So like it was a good like central spot, and when I was working in the city, it was a good spot to go get lunch. So without spending an arm and a leg, because a lot of the a lot of the smaller restaurants and stuff are like kind of expensive, where maybe the chain ones, the food's not as good, but like I got to eat 5 lunches a week. I don't need to be like at Gordon Ramsay's table every day. Sometimes just a simple quesadilla will get the job done.
At some point, I want to go to like Hell's Kitchen.
In New York. Oh, when you say Hell's Kitchen, that's actually a neighborhood in New York City.
Like the Hell's Kitchen place.
Oh, you mean the set where they do the TV show? Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that down in LA? I would think. I would imagine that's in Los Angeles. We could probably look it up. Mm-hmm. Although
either in California or New York. It's in one of the two.
Yeah, well, I guess we got to be careful because Guy Fieri, is it Guy Fieri? Fieri. His show where he was doing the ones from his backyard and everything, that's like up here. Up where we live. And all those people that come to visit him on that, actually, they fly into San Francisco and then drive up to his place in Marin, because apparently that's like really his backyard. And then that show when they do the supermarket games or whatever, that's a real supermarket.
Oh.
Your mother knows where it is. I want to say Santa Rosa.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that show. I just like the ones where Gordon Ramsay yells at people.
Hey, well, back to San Francisco. So there was another cool store called The Hundreds, and it was like a skate. It's like a designer guy, and he would sell his like T-shirts and pullovers and limited edition sneakers and caps. And he had a small store, they called them boutiques, in San Francisco. I'm sure he had one down in LA as well and one in New York. But the one in San Francisco, if you look, it was like a cave. And all of the stuff, that didn't work out too well, did it? As you can see, do you see how like the walls are all rocks? And then they built the shelves right into, like, they would have a couple of these of each. And, if somebody bought one, then somebody would pull one out and put another one back on. And it was always like you would have a spring collection. There'd be like 8, 10, 12 T-shirts, a bunch of button-down shirts, a couple of sweaters and hats. And then the summer, and then the fall. And then like they do with the Disney stuff sometimes, if something was really popular, they might go back and do it again as like a retro. And it was just a really fun space to shop and look and see what was coming out. The other thing we have over here is is
Tad.
one of your picks, right?
Yeah, we had it here.
We had it here in downtown San Francisco. But we've been to those in other places, too.
Wasn't there one in Disneyland?
There was one in Disney, and there was one in Vegas, too, that we went to.
Oh!
And what is it?
Rainforest Cafe.
So, so what was the deal with Rainforest Cafe? Why did you like that?
I just liked it because, like, you could sit there, and wouldn't they, like, every, like, couple minutes have, like, the lights go off and all the animatronic animals to go crazy?
I don't know if it was crazy, but they would have... Like, they would start making sounds,
yeah.
or not quite full on, like that. What's the place with all the birds? The Tiki
Room.
The Tiki Room in Disney, where they have all the, like, you go in, they turn the lights off, and then all of a sudden the animatronic birds start singing and flapping their wings.
Yeah, Stitch used to be in the one in Florida when the Stitch ride came out, and everyone hated it, and they took him out.
They kicked him out?
And everyone hated the Stitch ride, because I guess got rid of, like, some ride a lot of people liked, but it wasn't successful. So they switched out with Stitch when he started getting popular. Everyone hated it, because they wanted the old ride back. So they took him out, and then Stitch was in the Tiki Room, and then he got removed, because everyone hated Stitch.
He doesn't belong here with the birds. Oh, well, speaking of the hundreds, there was another one of those similar stores, same product but not as fancy. Like, it was more of like an old store that these two skater guys took over and turned into a skate shop, and it was called the Loin, because the Tenderloin. So it's that sweatshirt I have with the dots on it, you know, the gray hoodie I have, and it's just got a bunch of colored dots on it. That came from the Loin. And your mom had a couple of t-shirts. And it was fun because it was, like, right in our neighborhood. And again, just a fun place. Like, if we were going to go get a coffee, we could go down there and say hi to the guys. They were super friendly. And when we lived in the city, one of the things we did like is it still had, like, neighborhood feel. Like, we recognized people. We knew people in our neighborhood and the people that ran certain stores or services in the neighborhood, and you knew who they were by name. Like, we knew all of the guys that worked in the little bodega downstairs from us when we lived in the high rise, to the point where I think your mother used to call downstairs and like, hey, I want a sandwich, tell them what to make, and then they would make it and actually come into the building and take the elevator up and bring her the food. You were a baby. I don't think you were checking the door back then.
No.
But that other store, the Loin, we missed.
Wasn't the door like a beige color?
The door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Remember the Microsoft store? Now it's a car dealership. The last time we went over to Warby Parker. So that
Oh, yeah.
So now it's that new electric car company. I can't remember the name
Me
of
neither.
it. Proton? Is that it?
I think it was something similar.
Proton? I think maybe it is. Maybe it's Proton. But I'm not going to go look it up because that's not our shtick on our podcast. Last here, Blue Moon Comics. So while I love James's comic book store, it's all the way in San Francisco, and sometimes if I wait, I don't go every week anymore because we live up here. I might miss something and then he doesn't have it. So it was always nice to have
like a backup.
And he was a nice guy. And remember, he got us the black comic book boxes, the ones I have in the other room. And I think you used to get some comics there. We used to get the Scooby-Doo team-up comics from there. And like I said, sometimes if James was sold out of an issue or something, we could go there and get it. He went out of business early on. Am I keeping you up? You're just yawning away. Am I boring you?
No.
Are you bored on your own podcast? That's a sad state of affairs. Maybe we could pick up the pace a little bit. So, all right, we got more stuff that's gone away. Indoor go-kart racing.
Last time I went there, I cried.
I know, your mother told me. I felt really horrible.
She was trying to make me go on that go-kart. I still had the trauma from getting in that accident.
Oh, I thought you cried because it was closed.
No.
Oh my God, I totally missed the point of that story because your mother was like, Yeah, we went to go-kart racing and Parker wouldn't do it and she cried. So I just thought that was because it was closed. Like when you and I went up there to go to the scary Walmart.
No, so I think it was like maybe like a couple months after I went to Southern California and I came back and like the first day there we went go-kart racing and this car crashed into me and I sprained my wrist. So like I would not go on a go-kart. I refused.
I think you got to get back to it because you were good. I got video of you. You were making those older kids so mad that one kid, remember he crashed into you on purpose because you kept going by him and he was so mad.
No, I went there and it was like my friend's birthday and a bunch of other people were there and I went there because I thought it would just be us, like it was last year.
Oh.
And it was the girl that would pick on me. So not only was I upset because she was there, but also because I was afraid of going in the go-kart. So I was in the bathroom crying, Mom yelling at me, trying to get me to go back on the go-kart. I called Heather to convince Mom to have Mom not make me go on the go-kart.
Well.
Heather was her weakness.
Heather was the kryptonite.
Yeah.
Well, we try as parents. We're not always perfect. And I think she was just afraid that, it was going to make it worse with you and your friends. And sometimes you kind of just have to get over it. And at that go-kart track, they were pretty small. But anyways, you'll go-kart racing again now, right? Or is that done? That career's over?
That career's over with. Long gone.
Wow, we're going to have to change. Well, so what's going to happen when you have to drive a car?
It's a car.
Well,
they're different.
I think these are the last two I have for gone but not forgotten, gone but missed. Yeah. Is San Francisco Mini. So where I got our first Mini Cooper, and
wasn't that Jarvis?
That was Jarvis, and that dealership was such a different experience than any other place I had bought a car. They almost, everybody there became our friends, and we used to stop. They had a store in there, which is where we got the Puma stuff, because Puma makes the clothing for Mini Cooper. So I used to like the Puma sweatshirts, but they had the Mini Cooper on the sleeves. And then we joined the car club there. And they used to have movie nights where we would go down there. They had an Easter egg hunt where you and Mommy got tickets to go to an Oakland A's game, and you ran around the bases and got to go on the field and everything. And when you brought the car in for service, they would give you another one. And they were just we knew all the people that worked there, and it was halfway between our apartment and the comic book store. So especially when you were little and in the stroller, I would walk from our apartment over to the comic book store every Wednesday that I was home, because that's when the new comics came out.
You were only home once a week? I think you were home for the weekend.
Later on I would come home on the weekends, and then because Mommy was home with you all week, I would let her sleep in, and you and I would go do that. I would go get the comics, but we would take our time. We would stop at the Mini Cooper, say hi. You used to like to run around. They had an upstairs and a downstairs and a big TV and snacks all the time. All the time there was snacks and coffee. I could go there and just get a free cappuccino.
You can still do that at our Mini Cooper, just not without your mask on.
I don't. That would be funny. We should just go there for coffee one day. We're just here for the coffee. We don't need any service. Just get a coffee and leave. Call ahead. Can you make... Well, our dealership here is nice. They know us. But I don't know that I would go there and hang out.
Yeah. For me, it's not that much of a comfy area.
No, but this one was. And then the last place was the San Francisco Metreon.
I still have no clue what that is.
Well, it's where the Target is. It's the big Target in downtown San Francisco.
Oh.
But back when I first moved to the city, it was they had a grown-up game room, arcade, but not little video games. Like they had virtual bowling, but the bowling alley was huge, and they had this big trackball, and you would push on it. And it had restaurants. It had a Sony computer store, and this was before Apple had stores. And Sony was like their store was the equivalent of like going to the Apple store, except all the new computers and gadgets and MP3 players and PlayStation. When the PlayStation came out, they had just a PlayStation store in there. They had all of the movie theaters. They had a comic book store. And again, if James didn't have something, I could always pick it up there. And that store, there was just, like, you could literally just go hang out inside that space for the whole day. They had a place to take the kids called Where the Monsters Are, based on the book, or Where the Monsters Roam. And it was one of those, like, Gymboree kind of experiences. And we brought you there a couple of times. And then they also had a big park on the outside. And if you ever see those pictures with, like, the clowns and the circus stuff, and you were just looking all confused, that was back there. And they have waterfalls and a couple of, like, places to sit and just work on your cheek.
Just got a handcraft in the middle of my hand.
I'm sorry.
And that's what we can't get. There we go.
There you go. All right. So those are the places that are getting the love. And now we'll get to the "You're Dead to Me" part of our.
The cat's like cuddling his foot.
Isn't he? All right. So there we go. We got the first slide up, and I'm going to tell, like, so what are we going to talk about now? Now what we talk about is
the stuff we don't need and don't like.
Places I will not spend my money or go to or give my business to in any way, shape, or form because of poor customer service. Customer service that went beyond. And when I was younger, I used to get mad at bad service and maybe yell or get upset or get angry with either, "I need to see the manager," or yeah, I'd be that guy.
Were you really a male Karen?
Maybe that's what it was. What is that, a Kevin? Kevin?
A Bob, as they call them. It's like the equivalent of like a Karen's husband, a Bob.
Bob?
Yeah.
Badass Bob.
Language.
Bitchin' Bob.
Language.
So, well, I shouldn't say all of them were bad service. Well, no, if you give someone a bad product, I think that's bad service too. So number one on the list is Jack in the Box. And I haven't always hated these places, and in many cases, at one point I loved Jack in the Box. I actually missed Jack a little bit when I first moved to California. I used to like the Jack in the Box tacos.
You made me hate Jack in the Box before I could even try it.
No way. And then they came out with, I think it was called the Butter Burger. And for me, it was the Murder Burger.
Personal reasons.
I was sick for 2 days, and that was that. And anytime you eat at a place and you're actually ill, like physically ill, like can't go to work the next day, again, what are you going to do? Drive back over there and yell at the manager? Like, what's that going to do? So I just, from that point on, you're dead to me, Jack. And, well, Taco Bell for many of the same reasons, but Taco Bell did me wrong a lot earlier. He's a good guy. Taco Bell did me wrong a lot earlier, so they were on the list of places I won't. Your mother will eat at Taco Bell. That's fine. I won't eat Taco Bell. I won't support Taco Bell. Same with Jack in the Box. Subway down in the corner. Subway I will not go to or spend money at, but if someone gives me a Subway sandwich, I'll eat it.
You're not going to walk back there, demand a refund.
No, but they wouldn't. Look, they wouldn't make my baby girl a bread, bacon, and cheese kid sub. Even if I was willing to pay extra.
They refuse.
They refuse to put those 3 items together into a sandwich. And I don't know. I almost got mad. You were there that day. I almost got mad with the person behind the counter, but then I held my tongue, and from that day swore vengeance against Subway. Well, monetary vengeance, fiscal vengeance. Subway will never get another one of my dollars. If by definition you're a sandwich shop, you should make whatever the customer wants. Now, I understand you have a menu and things are on that menu, and if someone asks you for something that's not on the menu, you have the opportunity to adjust the price. Like if I come in and ask for, I want the tuna sub, but I want you to replace the tuna with roast beef, but only charge me for a tuna sub, I get that, right? But what we were asking for was bacon, cheese, bread. They have all of these items. None of them are held for other special sandwiches. And I offered to pay additional money for it. So that woman was just, I refused to make the sandwich.
This isn't a new thing. Some guy did an entire video on this of multiple encounters where this has happened. So this isn't new. Even a guy who worked at Subway would do this, and he went to a Subway after he left.
Look.
And they would refuse to make the sandwich because they didn't have it on their menu anymore. They refused to make the sandwich.
Well, Starbucks will make you drinks that aren't on their menu if you tell them what it is, or in some cases like how to make it if it was before that person started working there. So at least they'll take a chance.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's the Rudy Tooty bubblegum coffee, or what was that? They had some weird. Was it the unicorn?
Yeah.
But that wasn't coffee though.
That was like a frappuccino.
But wasn't it like vanilla?
It was like vanilla, mango, dragon fruit, and all these other fruits.
So it was vanilla based, not coffee based.
Yeah, it's like a vanilla based.
Vanilla based. So that's how, well, anyways, that's why Subway made the list. Chipotle I used to eat at, and I've never personally had a bad experience with Chipotle. But since I moved to California, Chipotle's shut down themselves as a company at least 3 times that I can remember because of some sort of food poisoning or contamination or some food handling issue where they had to shut down every restaurant and retrain every single okay, once we head there, you know, like, are you going to buy gas from a gas station where every 3 years the gas station blows up?
What if they keep rebuilding the gas
And then they just rebuild the gas station, and you're like, you never know what day you're going to go, and that's going to be the next time it blows up. So that's how I kind of looked at Chipotle from this point on. Like, it's probably going to be okay. Like, you know, chances are I'll be okay. But
the minute "but" gets in the conversation, no.
And especially with my delicate constitution, because then it does become a "but" issue, and that's all I'm going to say.
The new U.S. Constitution.
So that's Chipotle. You're dead to me, Chipotle. I just keep walking. I keep driving. Then we got Costco. So Costco, I hate for a couple of reasons, some of which I don't want to get into here. But Costco has done a couple of things to me over the years that now I refuse to pay for the membership, which is why.
You need a membership to go into Costco?
Yes, you have to pay to shop at Costco. So, like I said, after 2 really horrible experiences with Costco, I decided that why do I keep writing Costco a check each month or each year?
That seems like something Apple would do.
For the privilege of shopping at your store. And the other problem I've always had with Costco is I don't need 500 rolls of toilet paper at once. I don't need 5 pounds of peanut butter in the kitchen. Like, for a family our size, it is just so... Like, you don't... Like, we need 4 gallons of hair conditioner.
Like, that'll take us, like, 3 years to get through.
If that, right? Like, the label's worn off the bottle. We've forgotten what's in it, and it's only half empty.
Like, didn't I have, like, a thing of peanut butter, like, a regular size for, like,
I
for, like,
was
3 months?
All I know is, but, you know, if me making a peanut butter sandwich requires me putting my arm into the jar up to my elbow to get the bottom of it, like, the container's too big. The cereal boxes are too big. And you know I love me some cereal.
But that's too much for you.
But that's, like, and you're stuck on that one flavor forever. So, like, all right, I love me some honeycombs, but I don't want to eat honeycomb for 6 months straight. I don't, or it's just, it's, and so every time you go there and you buy 3 items and it's $150 every time. Plus you pay for the membership. So I told your mother we're done.
And I think their pizza has way too much sauce on it. Because when you see them make the pizza, it's like 90% sauce, 5% dough, 5% cheese. And then that, like 3% cheese and the rest of it, whatever ingredients they have to put on.
I think that's just to keep you in the store longer, to buy more stuff. And, okay, yeah, it was convenient for socks or underwear and stuff. But again,
You don't need 10 pairs of underwear, or like 90 pairs of underwear.
Not 90. 10 would be good.
Yeah.
But we don't go a week without shopping, without doing laundry, so that was
you
never a problem.
You do the laundry like every 10 minutes.
Well, that's me. I like clean stuff.
We don't even have enough of laundry for that. Like, you wear stuff for 10 minutes. Oh, dirty.
All right. So there's our first row. Oh, Michael's. There's a new addition. Michael's just joined the club this week.
Because they wouldn't give us... They had like a...
I went to buy a frame, and on the shelf it said buy one, get one. And if you buy this brand, I bought that brand. And when we got to the counter, after we waited in line 6 feet apart for one cashier... and just want to pay and get out of there, then we got stopped. Then I had to explain it says buy one, get one. Then they have to call a manager. And then the manager needs another person with them, an associate. The 2 of them walk back. Then they come all the way back up front to tell me, yes, they have buy one, get one. Did I have the right brand? Yes, I have the right brand, but
it's not the right version of it.
I don't have the right version. So... we took one frame back, but kind of where I'm coming from, I went and looked at American Express, and last year we spent like $600 at Michael's, and I don't even know how much we spent this year already at Michael's.
We haven't been there that often. We've been like 3 times.
Yeah, but when we go there, it's usually $100 because I buy paper and the box. Remember, we got the boxes and the display frame, you know. A couple of different things, but I get so disappointed because we waited in line for so long, and then we had to wait again for them to come and hassle us to the point of like, you know, haha, you didn't read the extra small print on the buy one get one, like you lose, we got you, it's not buy one get one. Like, that manager was like her mission was to make sure that we were not going to have 2 frames. And I'm just like, why do we, like, I don't want to drive there anymore. I don't want to spend any money.
Yeah.
So Michael's.
Goodbye.
You're dead to me. All right. I think 2 of these are yours.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Marshalls. What's your beef with Marshalls? What did Marshalls do to you?
I think it was probably... I don't even know why I'm still holding a grudge against it. It was like one of the very few things I have issues with.
So they may come back?
Probably not.
Are they only...
You know me. I'm a Wheatley. It's my job. I'm supposed to be judgy. I'm supposed to hold grudges.
As long as TJ Maxx is out there, you've got an alternative. It's all TJ Maxx now, right?
Yeah. So I went there, I think with my mom. With Mother Goose.
Yes.
And we had gotten like three things, and it was like somehow gotten to $90. And Mom had asked to see like what was on the monitor to see what she had bought.
Right.
And the lady was like, no, you may not see what you ordered. You may not see what you've gotten. So 2 of them were $5, and the other was $3. how am I spending $90 today?
What was on there?
I don't remember what it was. I think we got like a candle and then like some random stuff for the dog. Because you know her and that dog.
Right, but what was the candle, like $30 or something? You just didn't know it?
Yeah, the candle's like $30. But the lady refused to show the monitor, so Mom had to look at all the items. I had to add them up.
All right, well, that's a good reason.
Yep.
What's up with Burger King? Because I used to, I bring you to Burger King after school.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. How did Burger King hurt you? Because I like their tacos. I can't get Jack tacos anymore. Like when I want trashy tacos, like where do I go? I guess I have to go by you just won't.
You gotta go to Del Taco now. You gotta drive all the way to Reno and get your Del Tacos.
I'm not driving to Reno. Although, well, we might go to Reno after we get our shots.
I get to go gambling?
No, but we could go visit Jimmy in Tahoe.
Jimmy! Stanley, you're going for a drive.
And we could go visit Reno again. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Burger King. What happened with Burger King?
The mayonnaise on the burgers. The mayonnaise.
No, but you didn't write them off. We've been back there since then. So.
And it was the time me and Mom went there. Oh yeah, the big reason. So me and Mom went there. Remember how we came home with the 2 coffees? Like one hot, one cold?
Right.
So we had gotten there and Mom had ordered an iced coffee, a medium iced coffee, and your tacos. We get to the part where you get your coffees or coffee and food and stuff, and we pay, and the lady gives us a hot coffee.
Right.
And Mom's like, I ordered an iced coffee. She looks at the monitor. She looks at her coworker. She looks back to the monitor. She looks at Mom, and she's like, no, you ordered a hot coffee. And they'd given Mom the receipt, and I was looking at it, and I had gone to Mom. They gave us we ordered iced coffee. So, and they went back and forth, and Mom had to end up buying Mom had to buy an iced coffee, because they refused to take back the hot coffee. I wanted to throw the hot coffee at her. Mom wouldn't let me.
No, we don't throw stuff.
So that's my reason.
That's Burger King?
Yep.
Poor customer service.
Yep. Lady's mean.
Well, I have Heavy Metal up there, which is...
know what that is.
It's a comic, but it's also it's a magazine. So, yeah, here's an issue of Heavy Metal. But it's magazine size, but it's a collection. So you know how every month a magazine will have different articles?
Yeah.
But they're all around like whatever the topic of the magazine is. So, I get the music magazine. So every month it's different articles about different music. And Heavy Metal, they do have stories that go from one issue to the next issue to the other issue, like a 4-part story.
Yeah.
But they also have single stories, they call them one and done, like beginning, middle, and end. And Heavy Metal, because it's a magazine, every month it's totally different. They have different artists, different writers and stuff. And I like it because you get exposed to stuff outside. I mean, the superhero comics are they have the same look and feel for the most part. Where Heavy Metal is more on the art side and not so much on the superhero side. So you'll get like science fiction stories. This issue here, again, where it crosses over for me is the music special. So they do an issue. And when I was younger, they even did an animated movie, Heavy Metal, with different, it was like a collection of shorts in different animation styles and stuff. So I ordered a subscription to their back issues. Mm-hmm. So for like $5 a month, you can order 3 of their older issues. And because it's not current events, for me, Heavy Metal's, I don't care if it's a new issue, an old issue. So I thought that would be kind of cool to get each month. And that subscription was like the most difficult thing. You had to wait for an email to come with a link to a special page where then you would select the 3 issues that you would get, and you had to put a code in because they sell the back issues on the website. So if you pick them out, they ring up at, a higher price. Mm-hmm. So then you use the code to tell the shopping cart that you have a subscription. So it zeroes out all the prices. But every month you have to wait for them to send you the code and the link to the page to do the, so it's like this whole process. And for whatever reason, the links they would send me they would take me to a page where I couldn't order the magazines. So 3 months, 4 months go by and I'm getting no magazine. So I sent through the email, hey, I'm having a problem and, can you help me, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't hear anything back. I posted on their Facebook page, didn't hear anything back. Sent another email, didn't hear anything back. So finally, I wrote an email to the CEO of the company. And the very next day, I got a phone call. And
it's going to get good.
And, they were like, well, we're so sorry here. We'll give you 10 more free issues or whatever. But by that time, after 4 months of no books, I just give me a refund on whatever I didn't use. Because I did get some in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think I got 2 months worth, so 6 issues. But then nothing after that. So, as far as I'm concerned, except for the issues that I already own,
You're done with them.
I'm done with them because the whole idea was, especially now with these types of online subscriptions and stuff, I buy all kinds of stuff online. I don't have to go back to Amazon 3 or 4 times. Yeah. I can do, I have a couple of online subscriptions for other things. Hulu doesn't make me wait for a code each month to go. Couldn't they have a special web page that's only for the people with the subscriptions?
Yeah. And
when you log in, the system knows, oh, this is a subscription customer and takes you over. Like, I work with websites. It can't be that hard.
Yeah.
So, heavy metal.
Is the camera okay?
Yeah. I think he's got a paper cut.
Get him a Band-Aid.
I know, but that brings us to the end. We went long. Oh my God. Look, 1 hour and 10 minutes this week.
That's epic.
You know what we need?
What?
You know what we need? I know what we need. Hold on. We're going to say thank you.
Thank you.
Come back.
Yes.
You can find us at Leftcoastlove2020.com. You can find me at Left Coast Love on Facebook. You can find me on Left Coast Love 2020 on YouTube. Where are you at?
On what?
I thought you were on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Linam and Roll. LINAROLL.
Oh, linear.
Linam and Roll.
Oh, what's a liniment?
It's Lin-Manuel Miranda's fandom.
All right. Or SF Princess Cupcake. Have a week. We love you. Bye.
Bye.